Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here today on this very important hearing dealing with aviation readiness. Rear Admiral Monisser, I'd like to start the question with you. So the committee has heard testimony in prior hearings about a strike fighter shortfall and some of the issues you have to manage as a result. So how have training hours for Navy and Marine Corps pilots been impacted? And do you see an impact to pilot readiness due to the shortfall now or in the future?
Ma'am, I'll let General Davis answer the Marine Corps question because the impacts to both services, while founded in the same challenge, are different in how we train. Strike fighter shortfall we now term as inventory management. So if you have a shortfall, that means your supply doesn't equal your demand, and so you have to manage that force. The proximate cause of the strike fighter inventory challenges, particularly in the F-18 and the JSF, is the JSF sliding to the right. General Davis testified that he wants to see a faster ramp to F-35 to the new fifth-generation fighter. We want to make sure that there is no delay to the F-35C arriving. But it has slid several years. That's caused two problems. The first one is that we've had to induct more of our F-18 A through D legacy force into the depot. We didn't plan to do that maintenance. And when we opened those airplanes up, they had significant corrosion that we did not plan for. And so that created a depot load that we had to change the process and how we managed that. That created shortfalls on the flight line. The second effect it had was we were overflying our F-18s, Super Hornets, E's and F's. We didn't plan to fly them this much, nor this early in their life, so it's accelerating the life use on the F-18 E's and F's. And in fact, our unfunded priority list, the #1 priority from the Chief of Naval Operations is 14 E's and F's to help cover the gap that we never foresaw between the F-18C and the F-35. We are taking, as you know, we do what's called tiered readiness. It's phase-based tiered readiness. I explained it a little bit in my written statement, where the deployers are full up, ready to go for any high-end mission. And then the next to go are also trained at the intermediate and advanced level. Where we see the effects on training, ma'am, are in the early training phases leading up to advanced training, and then in sustainment when they come home from extended deployment, you'll see some of the resources having to be moved to the next deployer. So on either end of that deployed cycle, that's where we see those hits. That aircraft availability, just exactly what General Davis says, that limited aircraft availability, especially early in the phase, doesn't allow us to train those aviators that are in that phase, and we have to steepen the training ramp to get them up to speed before they deploy. Those are the effects.
How many hours short are you, would you say, for a normal training? If you have optimal training for all tiers to be fully trained, how many hours more are you needing?
So that's a difficult calculation because it's almost area under the curve. There's a certain number of hours at the very low maintenance level. It's currency hours. It's 11 hours per pilot per month. And then it goes up to the fully deployed to about 27 hours per pilot per month in each type model series. The fiscal year 17 President's budget request does give us a readiness level that's executable because of the numbers of airplanes. Sometimes people will say, hey, you need to fly more hours, and so we're going to give you more flying hour money. One of the causes of why we are where we are today is money went into flying hours, but the underlying accounts, the enabling accounts, were underfunded, so the airplanes weren't available to fly. So I'd rather not tell you that I need more hours. What I need is the fiscal year 17 submission and the bills that the chairman talked about to get that readiness level up so that we can increase the flying in those lower stages of training. As
you know, we've got the 14 extra F-18s in the NDAA, and we're going to continue to try to bring that across the finish line. Is that enough? Would you like more, if you could?
In the 17 budget, that 14 remains the request. Okay. The CNO Greenert testified earlier in 15 that we need 2 to 3 squadrons to fill the gap in our total force with a tiered readiness model. We haven't quite got to that point of having all of those squadrons and all those numbers. As we continue to use the airplanes that we are using, I think you're going to see repeat requests for Super Hornets as we go forward in future year budgets.
Sure. 19 seconds, General Davis. Has pilot readiness been impacted?
I'll tell you exactly. We're 6 hours, about 6 hours per month per pilot short on the TAC air fleet, specifically F-18. We fixed Harriers. They're doing better right now. We've got one squadron that's in Bahrain that's flying a lot. about an 800-hour a month for a 10-plane squadron, so those guys are doing well, but on average low. We've asked for 2 F-35Cs and 2 F-35Bs to help fill our coffers out there. Our plan is to put our guys in an 8,000-hour airplane, the F-35 B and C, and basically take advantage of that full ramp. We have been having a lot of help from Boeing Corporation to help fix our legacy airplanes. So 4 things that F-18s, legacy F-18s are down for. They're in the depot. They need an in-service repair, which is too much maintenance for my Marines to fix. They need the special permissions to go do that. Not mission-capable supply or maintenance. A large number of our legacy F-18s were on the flight line, needed a minor repair that my Marines aren't able to do. Same thing with the sailors. So we didn't have enough depot artisans to do that work. So we took some depot artisans and put them up at Miramar, and that's had a palpable and positive impact on my flight line readiness for F-18 in Miramar. We basically hired Boeing, Navy-blessed Boeing Corporation folks to go do that ISR work. It makes sense. They built the airplane. And bottom line is we're getting much better readiness out of the Buford effort as well. That just started. So taking those in-service repair airplanes, a large slug of our airplanes, if we could get at that, would actually help on my F-18 readiness. And they're doing that now. So hats off to Boeing and using the OEMs, not just for the F-18, but across the spectrum to help increase our readiness wherever we can. Thanks.
Hats off to all of you for taking a difficult situation, make the best of it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.